Yo, what's up, fight fans? Screwballs MMA back from the 11th hiatus. I'm here breaking down UFC Fight Night Jack Della Maddalana versus Carlos Prates. Um, this is an early card. This weekend starts at 3 a.m. my time. I will probably not watch the first few fights, but I'll try to catch definitely the whole May card, maybe some of the prelims. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna break down every fight on here and give my personal opinion. I've never been wrong about a prediction ever. I picked JDM to beat Islam, but I've never been wrong about any prediction ever. First up, we got Dom Marfan versus Cody Steele. This is actually a really good fight. I will be sleeping for this. I'm sorry. I'm not waking up. It's a good fight. Not waking up at 3 a.m. to watch it. Anyway, quite close odds here. We see plus 170 for Don Marfan and minus 205 for Cody Steele. I'm gonna pick Cody Steele, but I do really like Don Marfan, and I do think he can win this fight. And he I think it'll be close. He's a bit longer, a bit bigger. Um, Cody Steele has good wrestling credentials, but we saw in his UFC debut he didn't really use them. He likes to scrap. Um, he has a bit more output, as you can see, but I do think Don Marfan's maybe a bit more accurate on the feet, a bit better defensively, as we can see. 7.7 absorbed per minute. I did not see that. That's ridiculous. Um, but I still think Cody Steele is going to win this fight. Close 29-28 decision. Maybe it's like a really close one, and it does go Dunmar fans' way because it's in Perth. But I'm going to go Cody Steele by decision. Next up, Jonathan McAuliffe versus Themba Garimba. I'm pretty easily going to pick Jonathan McAuliffe. I don't think Themba Garimba's really that good. He's okay, but I don't think he's anything special. He's not. I wouldn't say he's chinny, but he is chinnable. But I'm gonna pick Jonathan McAuliffe by submission. I think he's going to draw. I think it's actually going to be kind of sort of similar to the Vicente Luque Themba fight. I think he's going to drop Themba, and then I think he's going to scramble to his back and get a choke. Um, I just don't rate Themba Garimba that highly. That's it. And I think Jonathan McAuliffe's actually quite good. He has good kicks at range. I think he could, if this doesn't like end immediately, I do think he can win a decision just by blasting kicks at range, right on the arms. Um, it's saying that they have like a similar leg reach, just 1 inch, but I do feel like McAuliffe is a lot better at fighting longer, as you can kind of see by their builds. I don't know how there's only 1 inch height difference, but it's whatever, or leg height difference. But I do think McAuliffe's just going to be able to bang out at range, kind of just popping kicks, and I think he's going to sit him down with a cross, scramble to the back, get a rear naked choke. Late round 1, early round 2. Next up, Ben Johnston versus Wes Schultz. Now, normally you don't pick the person who doesn't have any sort of proof of existence, but I'm gonna pick Ben Johnston. I don't think Wes Schultz is that good. That's basically what I'm gonna say. Ben Johnston fought in Eternal MMA. I watched a few of his fights, not too many, just because I didn't know who he was beforehand. Uh, he's a very good rear naked choke. Most of his wins are by rear naked choke. As you can see, he's never been the distance. And I'm actually gonna pick him to get this done by rear naked choke in round 1. Lighten it up in Perth. Um, yeah, I think Wes Schultz isn't that good. He got chinned in his last fight. Ben Johnson by submission. Next up, Colby Thickness versus Vince Morales. I'm picking Colby Thickness. Um, he's kind of a weird fighter. His his footwork is shit. I don't know how he trains with Volk. I don't know how you shit footwork when you train with Volk, who literally has like some of the best footwork ever. Um, but honestly, he's been through his last both of his UFC fights were against two very powerful hitters. Obviously, he fought Alexandre Topuria on very short notice, and then he fought Mousasi, I think, Jared Mousasi. So on the feet, he does. It may just be because of who he's fighting, but he did look a little bit shit scared on the feet, and he's crossing it over his legs, and he's fighting like he's stepping on magma blocks from Minecraft. He basically just taking tick damage every time he walks. Vince Morales, he has been through kind of a bit of a hard sell of opponents. I think he's coming off fighting Smith and Raul Rojas Jr. back to back. And he's gotten close on submission attempts, but he doesn't do anything except that. I think Colby Thickness is a capable enough grappler not to get submitted, but I do think it's going to be another one of those fights where Colby Thickness is clearly winning and dominating in the grappling, and kind of just he's winning the fight clearly, but there's going to be 2 or 3 times where Vince Morales gets like a close Darce choke. I know he had a Peruvian necktie at one point on Raul Rojas Jr. So I do think he's just going to be trying to throw up submissions, and that's basically all he's going to do. So I'm going to pick Colby Thickness by decision, 29-28, maybe a 30-27 scorecard. Next up, GM3 versus Jacob Malkoun. Tell me why I want to pick GM3. Dude, these odds, this feels like GM3 should win, but I'm going to learn from my mistakes. I keep picking GM3 to win by round 3 submission. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it this time. I'm pick Jacob Malkoun by flatline KO in the first round. I think the craftiness of GM3 is behind us. Now, Jacob Malkoun, fuck you for throwing a parlay of mine. I would have won $1,000 from $2 wasn't for this guy. Mostly Torres Finney's fault. He's a bum. So we're riding Jacob Malkoun by knockout. No value on him betting wise. Next up, Junior Taffa versus Kevin Christian. Everything tells me to pick Junior Taffa, but I don't want to. I'm going to, but I don't want to. Now, Kevin Christian is quite shit, and he got absolutely brutally. It was one of the worst finishes I've ever seen, and he is asking to be chin. He's 6'7", his chin's wide up in the air. This seems like Taffa should just throw a right hand over the top and KO him flat. But yeah, Kevin Christian in his last fight, he got dropped and he got submitted, and he was tapping, but the ref was on the other side and didn't see it, and he went out cold for a while because he was out. He was out for a little bit before the ref did anything. That ref should have lost his job for sure. Kevin Christian, I don't know what ethnicity is this guy. Is this guy Indian? He's Brazilian? He's like a Brazilian. Anyway, he's gonna get jubileed by a fellow Australian. I think it's gonna be a straight right. I think he's just gonna bomb him and he's gonna get KO'd. Junior Taffa was neither of these guys are UFC level, if I'm going to be honest. But this should be a fight Junior Taffa wins. He looked very good striking in his last fight, and then he gets submitted. So there is always that chance. Because I do believe Kevin Christian is a bit more of a grappler than he is a striker. But I just don't think he's going to get it. There's no way he has a 70% takedown defense. There's just no chance that's true. It should be like 7%. Anyway, Junior Taffa, KO, 1 minute into the first round. If not, he gets submitted in round 2. Next up, Cam Rouston versus Robert Brychek. I like Cam Rouston. He did lose to Torres Finney. We do gotta talk about this. He lost to Torres Finney on the Contender Series. He got blobbed. However, I don't think Brychek's gonna blob him. I think Brychek's also not great. He lost to Ian Pateria, and then I believe he got a knockout win over Brad Tavares in his last fight. But I'm gonna pick Cam Rouston. Pick him by TKO. I think he's gonna get a finish here. Maybe a submission. I'm gonna pick him by TKO. I'm gonna pick Cam Rouston by finish. Early round 2. Could see him dropping him. Could see him dropping him, submitting him. Could see him hurting him. getting him and submitting him. But I'm gonna pick Cam Rouston by finish. Open up the main card. Bam Bam versus Louis Sutherland. Oh my days, Louis Sutherland. How do you acquire either one of these builds, bro? I gotta looking at Louis Sutherland on the regional scene. Looking like this, bro. We got catfished. The matchmakers got catfished. They saw this guy in the regional scene. They're like, "Oh my days, this Louis Sutherland guy. It's gonna make me spit out my baked beans. My baked beans. I'm gonna spit them out." If you've seen Louis Sutherland, oh my days, this guy's a marauder. And this guy walked into the matchmaking room and they saw this. This guy's built like a fucking fridge. I'm gonna pick Bam Bam. This is actually, I think it's a harder fight than Sean Sharaf was, but I think this is it. Now, Tai Tuivasa being a damn near 2-1 favorite, I don't know. Probably should be a pick'em, but I'm gonna trust Bam Bam to break the curse and do the shoey. Well, I actually think Ty's been looking. He's been closer and closer to winning. He clearly lost to Rosenstrike, and somehow it was a split decision. But maybe Talashin Teixeira is even more shit than I think he is, because I do think Talashin Teixeira is quite shit. But is he that shit? Is he Louis Sutherland shit? Maybe. Because all he did was, beat Taffa and then get chinned by Derek Lewis. So maybe he is that shit. And just tall, but I think I'm going to pick Bam Bam. I'm going to pick Bam Bam by TKO in round 1. Overhand right. And I think he'll be able to chop up the legs too. Tai Tuivasa does have nasty leg kicks, or did. And he doesn't really throw them much anymore. He's too fat. But, he's being active. Second fight in a year. He's not obesity maxing. He is, but he's not 330 pounds. He's like 280. Pick Tai Bam Bam. I can't. Shamil, good fighter. Brando Perche, he's a good fighter. And I think I'm going to have a cheeseburger. I'm picking Shamil! Should I be picking Shamil considering he got nuked by Waldo? Probably not. And Brando Perchik is quite decent for a heavyweight. He can bang out for sure. But I think Shamil is gonna get this one done by TKO. Ground and pound maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna pick him by TKO. I think he's gonna blob him a little bit, push him against the fence, wear him out, land a few good shots, and I think he's gonna TKO him. Late round 2. Shamil deal. TKO. Next up, Bedtime MMA. Welcome back. I'm just kidding. That's Mario Batista. Steve Erceg versus Tim Elliott. The odds, little steep on Erceg's side. I do think this is actually quite a close fight. Steve Erceg definitely the cleaner striker, but Tim Elliott's weird and he's goofy. And I've seen Erceg scramble, which is why I'm going to pick him by decision 30-27. But I do think he'll get put in some sort of trouble, whether he gets clipped with a weird cuffing shot or he gets in like a guillotine attempt maybe, in a scramble. Because Erceg does shoot when he doesn't need to. He's quite scrambly. But I do think he's a very clean striker. He just pumps it out, pop, 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 pop. His fight with Moreno was quite close. I thought he looked really good in that fight. He doesn't do enough damage at flyweight, which is the big problem. So Tim Elliott can eat shots to give them, which is really worrying for Erceg. Because Tim Elliott, he has an okay amount of pop. Not no pop, not a lot of pop, but he's got more pop than Erceg for sure. But I'm going to pick Erceg by decision 30-27. Just puts on a really clean striking performance. with like one thing of adversity. Yeah. Next up, Benny Boy, Beneil Dariush versus Quillen Salkiel. The CEO of Sex himself, Quillen Salkiel. Now, I think this is a pretty clear pick. I think Quillen Salkiel is going to knock up Beneil Dariush with a straight right hand in round one. I like Dariush, and I do think early we might see like an extended version of the BSD fight where it's like, oh, Dariush actually looking pretty good. He's landing he's landing his body kick. Oh, he's doing good. He's landing the right hand a little bit, and then boom, I think he's gonna get hit with a cross and go out completely. Not like a clean KO, no follow-ups needed. Walk-off KO for Quillen Salkiel, lay mid round one. I think Dariush will try to grapple early. I think Quillen Salkiel's grappling is very good. Quillen is a very well-rounded fighter, which is one thing I think people kind of don't talk about enough. But I think he's a quite good fighter, and I think that he's going to get this one done by TKO round one. Next, moving on to the main event. JDM. I'm picking Jack Della Maddalana by TKO. This is a worrying fight, and I'm gonna go into this one a lot more in depth than I did the previous fights because I've really been watching the tape on this one and seeing what it is, going back and forth on it. There is a big worry here as someone who's picking JDM in this fight, and it's not the cross. A lot of people are almost seeming Prates to be like a left cross merchant. I don't think the cross is going to be here in this fight. I think trying to hit JDM with a single shot or single punch, I should say, is going to be very difficult. Leon was able to avoid it when he was in southpaw. This is what I want to talk about. JDM should match him in southpaw. It will leave one opening that I'll get to in a second, but defensively, when Prates is fighting another southpaw, his defense isn't as good because he has a bit of that tall man defense where he likes to stick his arm out and put his other hand up. So fighters, if they're in open stance, they can clear through it with a cross or Gary threw a lead uppercut, even though I believe that was an open stance, but he kind of like switched into it. So I think that's kind of the main thing JDM should do is just stay in southpaw. But this is where it opens up the calf kick for Prates. JDM struggled really badly. You could against Islam's calf kick there, landed a few good ones early in that fight. You could say the grappling threat, but JDM's footwork in general in that fight seemed a lot worse than normal, so I could maybe just chalk it up to that. He wasn't moving out of the way of the low kicks because he's never really struggled with that before, getting chopped at low kicks. Holland was throwing a ton of low kicks. JDM would check them or move out of the way of them. But speaking of Kevin Holland, that's probably the most similar matchup, maybe Randy Brown, to in terms of build. And a lot of people like to say that fight was close. I didn't think it was close. I'd actually picked Holland going into that fight, and I still thought JDM would won all 3 rounds. A little bit closer on rewatch, but the difference is Holland's a volume kind of flicky striker, and he had less so now, but still has a very good chin, and he was able to just get ripped with big shots against JDM against the fence. But Prates doesn't do that. Prates is a single shot fighter. He's a bit flicky early, which I think is bad for Prates. I don't think he should try to do that. He did that against Neil for the first 4.5 minutes of that fight. Did it for the first 3 rounds against Gary. Did it in round 1 against Leon, where he's kind of just flicky, trying to look for his rhythm. I think that's where an early KO threat is for JDM. I don't think he's going to get an early KO, but that is where the early KO threat is. That's what Randy Brown tried doing to JDM, and he was having a bit of success, right? He's flicking, he's landing, and then JDM kind of stalked in and landed a double right hook and just dropped him completely. Mic disconnected. We're back to it. And then, yeah, double right hand, dropped him and submitted him. So I could see something similar here for JDM. He's flicking, he backs him up to the fence, and boom, boom, he gets clipped with like 2 shots and kind of puts Prates down. But I think Prates is good enough defensively to not let that happen, especially early. The big weapon here, and this is what I want to talk about, the left knee for Carlos Prates. JDM high guards, and he likes to go into the pocket with the high guard. That's where the danger comes. Splitting, he dips his head, splitting the knee up the middle, could split through the guard, and it could hit JDM, and it could crack him. He has seemed good at seeing those knees coming, but I think the range of Prates' knees and his accuracy with them is a lot better than any fighter he's fought before. So I understand this Prates pick, because the Prates pick is JDM is a better striker. I think most people that are picking Prates know this. Like, JDM's a cleaner striker. He has better defense. He's better offense. He's better volume. He's better cardio. He has more weapons. He's like a more diverse striking. He goes body, head, legs. He goes all 3 levels. But Prates doesn't need to be perfect. If we see the significant strikes here, he gets hit more than he lands. Billion-dollar company, by the way. No stats for JDM. So, because yeah, you see, he's usually being outlanded before he wins. Trevin Giles was really boxing him up in their fight. Doesn't matter. He just landed across and put him out cold. Leon very clearly winning that fight. Switches orthodox. Boom, gets cracked with a straight left hand out cold. I do think JDM's a lot better defensively than those guys. A lot of people are going to say, oh, Leach had never been knocked out. Jeff Field never been knocked out in the UFC. He got knocked out by Kevin Holland on the regional scene. And Leon Edwards had never been knocked out. The difference is Leon has almost been KO'd a lot by not powerful strikers. Bilal rocked him with an uppercut. Cowboy almost chinned him. Got cracked a bunch by Kamaru. He got cracked once by Sean Brady. Leon does not have a good chin. He just never fought a power puncher. That's the main thing. Kamaru Usman was the closest thing to a power puncher that he fought, but Usman's also flat-footed and not nearly. Actually, Carlos Prates is also flat-footed, I guess. That's the other thing in this fight. Moving away from JDM, being flat-footed, I think is going to allow JDM to land 4 or 5 punch combos, rip up the body, and that's where I think that's what's going to do the damage to Prates, I think, is the body shots. I'm kind of jumping back and forth in this fight, but my brain's all over the place. I'm so excited for this fight, and it's all I've been thinking about for the past few days and watching tape. Jack Della, he could mix in wrestling in this fight. I don't think it's smart. I think Carlos Prates is really good takedown defense. I know Leon got to his back, but Leon's he's a weird grappler. He took down Usman and full mounted him in round 1. He almost submitted Colby and took him down too. Took down Bilal and controlled him for a whole round. Reversed Bilal at the end of their fight and almost TKO'd him with elbows. Leon's like a weird grappler. Sometimes he gets mauled in the grappling. Sometimes he has really good offensive grappling moments. So I don't think JDM, it wouldn't suit him to grapple, but maybe against the fence, working the clinch a little bit just to get Prates thinking when he goes low for a body shot that it might be a takedown and he can come back upstairs. So yeah, the Prates pick here is obviously the KO. I don't think there's a single chance in hell Prates can win a decision here. I don't even know if he can win a round here. I think him winning a round would have to be off he dropped JDM at the end of the round. Maybe he gets that round. But I just don't see it happening. I think JDM is really good defensively, getting hit with single shots. The knee and the body kick and the calf kick will be the 3 main weapons for Prates. In Prates' training videos, he's using a lot of elbows too. I think JDM has better elbows than him. They're close. Actually, maybe not. I take that back. I'm going to reel that one back in. JDM does have good elbows and knees as well, but they're more disrupting elbows. They're not single shot stabbing to cut you open and kill you elbows. They're more blunter knees and elbows to kind of just dissuade grapplers. So for JDM to win, this is the JDM game plan. Reasonably, he has to be almost perfect for 25 minutes. Not be perfect, but he has to watch his P's and Q's. He can't get lazy for 25 minutes. He could probably get hit a few times. Prates does, like, he landed a few crosses on Edwards before he ended up knocking him out. Landed a few good shots on Edwards before he landed him out. So it's not just like, oh, in one shot and he's dead. He's going to get KO'd off of one shot. It's more, he's just got to watch his P's and Q's because it could only take one. So he can't really do what Ian Gary did here. So Ian Gary, I just rewatched this fight about an hour ago. Ian Gary, what he did, he was blasting kicks, right? Going all three levels, blasting kicks, and he can keep the range a lot better than Jack Della can. Like a lot better than Jack Della can, I think. I think JDM's obviously a boxer, obviously a pocket boxer, has decent flicky kicks, he's a decent head kick, but nothing like Ian. Ian was just blasting kicks into the forearm, and then off of the kicks was coming into the pocket. 1-2, 3-2, 1-2, lead uppercut 2. That was kind of his game plan. Very obviously keeping that left hand tucked to his head to block. So JDM can't really do that. I just think getting the kicks there, the risk to reward ratio just isn't good enough for him. And it's just not his style, right? So what JDM really has to do is utilize his jab. I think he can really snap the head back of Prates with the jab. Prates has seemed to get snapped back a lot with the jab. So especially from southpaw when they're in open stance, obviously a jab's a lot more useful in a closed stance than an open stance. Sorry, I said open when I meant closed. When it's in a closed stance, it's obviously a lot easier for someone to land a jab. So I think JDM from that southpaw position can jab double up on it. He does the watch for that counter calf kick as he's jabbing, but I do think he can double up on the jab, right hand, or double up on the jab, left hand to the body, rear cross the body, or jab, or then 1-1-2 to the head, or 1-1 jab cross to the body, left hook upstairs, or lead hook. I'm all over the place. Lead hook upstairs, another body hook, another hook. So I really think he'll be able to mix this thing up, which would be really to his advantage. Then maybe hold him against the fence if he gets him there, try to kill the time, get some blood in the arms just to gain a lot less power on some of those shots. But yeah, that knee is what's going to be kind of, he has to avoid that knee at all costs. The cross, I just don't see it being there against JDM. I think JD, it's just, I know a lot of people are talking about how many times he got hit by Bilal. But you have to think about Bilal. It's a completely different stylistic matchup. It's a grappler. I think Prates would struggle with Bilal too until he wouldn't. I do think he would probably KO him, unlike JDM did. But what JDM was doing, he had to watch his P's and Q's a lot more from the grappling. He doesn't have the range advantage, so he can't really just stay on the outside, especially because Bilal is really good when he's having that forward pressure. So JDM had to go forward, and he was fine with trading with him. He was getting touched with the jab, but they'd be grazing shots. They'd come off the arms, and come off the shoulders, and then hit JDM. I know he had a swollen up eye that was mostly from round 4 and 5. Round 4, when he got the one time he got grappled, got hit with a knee to the head, started to swell a bit, and then he was just kind of trading in round 5, really doing the damage to Bilal. Bilal looked like he got hit by a car, versus JDM had a swollen eye. I just don't see that. And I do think Bilal is actually quite an underrated striker. He was landing pretty good shots on Ian Gary for the most part, especially later in that fight. He's landing better shots on Ian Gary than Prates did on the feet. And a lot of people are going to talk about round 5 of that Ian Gary fight. All of that came via grappling. It came by Ian Gary being tired, mostly from grappling, shooting shitty takedowns, getting reversed, and ground and pound. It was not because, oh, in round 5 he started to find the timing and he started to KO him. He got more tired from he got oh my goodness. He got tired, yeah, from grappling. So, realistically, I don't see that being the case for JDM. I think JDM is really good at 5-round cardio. So I'm going to pick JDM by TKO in round 3. I think he's going to be able to rip up the body. I think he's going to come upstairs, and I think he's going to slow Prates down. TKO sort of against the fence. I don't think he's going to, it's not going to be too bad. It's going to be like kind of a decent stoppage where Carlos is kind of just covering up. So those are my picks. Maddalana by knockout. Sal Kill by TKO. Usyk by decision. Shamil Gaziev by TKO. Tai Tuivasa by TKO. Rouston by finish. Tuivasa by KO. Malkoon by KO. Thick Knees by decision. Johnson by submission. Mikulev by submission. And Cody Steele by decision. It's a really good fight night card. Wish it was on my time, but that's okay. But that's been me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.